Hi everyone. So as Avram mentioned, my name is Simi and I'm the director of buy-to-let mortgages at Lendlord Finance, which is the broker arm of Lendlord. So we're going to start off today just going through a bit of an update in terms of rates, as we did have news last week in terms of the base rate. So in the last meeting, the MPC committee, the Monetary Policy Committee, kept the base rate at 3.75%, following quite a tight vote, which was 5-4. The Governor, Andrew Bailey, indicated that further rate reductions are likely, but later this year. Rates won't return to the lows of 0.1%, which were driven by exceptional circumstances of the pandemic. So four of the members of the MPC wanted a cut for what they wanted to hold. Only Andrew Bailey switched from supporting a December cut to holding in February. Analysts now anticipate that the next rate cut will be around April 2026, possibly even March, which is earlier than previously expected. So, what does this mean? Borrowers may see lower rates this spring, creating opportunities to lock in deals before wider economic uncertainty kicks in. But there's no immediate drop in rates. So, you're not going to see a sudden drop in interest rates and savings. But there is a clear path for lower rates later on this year, which could benefit borrowers. Particularly for buy-to-lets, this means lower stress tests, increasing how much you can borrow. And it is great news that the rates are hopefully coming down. But what I would say is buy-to-let products still remain quite expensive in terms of costs and fees. The lowest rate doesn't always mean the cheapest product. So that's something to look at when you're securing your new product. On to the next slide. I thought it was quite an interesting table to show how much rates have fallen since 2023. So as you can see, post-pandemic, rates were historically low at 0.1%. In August, we saw them at its peak at 5.25%, particularly after the mini budget. And then in December, we've seen the base rate held quite steadily at 3.75%. So I think this is quite positive. We have seen rates coming down steadily, and hopefully that's something we're going to continue to see. So I thought it'd be good to cover off what impacts interest rates. So the first, probably most important factor is inflation, which is how fast prices rise. So inflation is expected to fall to 2% by spring, which is helped by lower household energy bills. And the reason energy bills are reducing is, things like the government support schemes, falling wholesale energy prices, and also seasonal effects. Energy use tends to decline after winter, and the costs do ease coming into spring. So hopefully that is going to impact inflation and consequently interest rates. Economic growth is slowing. The Bank of England now expects 0.9% growth in 2026, which is down from a previous forecast of 1.2%. And unemployment is also expected to tick up slightly from 5% to 5.3%. So, what this means is if jobs are less secure and growth is slower, the housing market becomes less predictable. And lower inflation is always good. It means your money doesn't lose value as fast, day-to-day living costs are easier to manage. But this could temper borrowing and housing demand, which can influence property prices and mortgage activity. So, what you need to know, next slide. What you need to know as a borrower. So, rates have been held, the base rate, but cuts are likely. So, look out for lower rates in spring. But we would advise to lock in a rate now to secure products early and avoid uncertainty. Inflation is easing. Slower inflation reduces pressure on household budgets. People are less rushed to spend because prices aren't rising as quickly, which slows consumer spending and eases pressure on businesses to raise prices. There's still a lot of economic caution, higher unemployment and slower growth, and that creates uncertainty in the housing market. When people are out of work, and the economy is growing slowly, it makes people less confident about spending money, certainly on houses. And consequently, in the housing market, less people are able to buy or move houses. The key thing to think about is timing. It's so important, particularly if you are on a fixed product. Securing a rate early can change the trajectory of your portfolio. And um, the Bank of England signals, when rates, hopefully we do see improvements. So it's important that you have a broker that's going to keep you regularly updated as well. Just to cover off about Lendlord Finance. So if you are a user of the app, Lendlord Finance is the broker arm of Lendlord. So we were set up purely to facilitate mortgages for our users. So we specialize in buy-to-let mortgages. We can advise on residential mortgages, but the majority of our business are buy-to-let. So limited companies, HMOs, multi-unit blocks, all specialist areas of investments. How we can help landlords is that because we specialise in buy-to-lets, we've got strong contacts at all of the lenders we work with, and we also know the process inside out. So because we're packaging buy-to-let cases on a daily basis, we know how lenders want the cases to be presented to them, what documents they want, how to get a case quickly from submission to offer, which is, the most important part of the process. And how you can apply, there's two ways. So the main way that our users look to apply for finance is through the digital mortgage inquiry tool. So you can put in all of your details, and then you can get a mortgage illustration uploaded within 24 hours. So it's a fully digital process. You can upload your documents there. Um, and that's how we're essentially using tech. So we are trying to change the way in which people obtain mortgages. Users have live visibility into 27 Tech, what rates are available to them, and they can select those products, compare those products. So it's a really, really good tool to be able to see what's available to you quickly.
Yeah, perhaps I can show how you can do it quickly. If you go to your Lendlord account, go to the Finance tab, then click Live Products. You can basically apply test based on property value. Okay, the rent. So we also stress test the rental income and also the LTV. The good thing is basically it's based on the profile, so you can see if we cannot find a mortgage for you, we will tell you why, what is the reason. It can be failed on stress tests or any other criteria item of the lenders. It can be portfolio LTV, portfolio stress tests, and more. And here you can see the rates. You can always order this list by initial rate or by fees or by total cost. And you can start a process to get the mortgage illustration online. And then, of course, after that, you can proceed with submission. Yeah, and the other way, Simi, it's
The other way is if you feel that you've got a bit more of a complex case and you need to speak to somebody on the phone instead of putting it through online, you can book a call with myself or Leon via Calendly. So we'll have an initial call with you. We'll go through all of the lender's requirements, then cover everything off. So yeah, there's two ways you can do it, but the way to do it online is that you can track your application. So I think that's what a lot of our users and clients really benefit from, is being able to digitally track where their mortgage is.
Yeah, Sarel, if you can put the links on the chat so people can apply for either to schedule a call or to start the process online from your Lendlord account. Okay, Sarel, if you can also put the link for the direct Calendly. I'm not sure if the link is up to date because there I think we should have more slots open.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Thanks, Simi. Simi, if you can stay with us, perhaps will have questions. So
Yeah.
I will now start with the session about the Lendo platform and the new features, and then we will have time for question and answers. And you can also ask questions if you have questions for Simi as well. As usually on webinars, we offer an exclusive offer for this webinar time. So today we offer 50% of our premium plan. So if you go to your Lendlord account, go to the settings page. On the plan details, click upgrade. Then enter the coupon Feb webinar and click apply, and you will get the premium plan with 50% off. Now let's speak about some new features. I will start with the invest section. So as you know, AI is now entering our life. There are so many things you can do with AI. We introduced Lendlord AI several months ago. The benefit of using Lendlord AI is like instead of using ChatGPT and bring the data to ChatGPT or to Gemini or any other chat tool, Lendlord AI is integrated into your Lendlord account, and also it's trained on the property market. So you can work on everything you need to get from AI from your Lendlord account. The first feature I wanted to show you, it's a very new feature that we just introduced, and this is the AI sourcing. So if you go to the invest section of the platform and click on market listings, you will find this new box that it's a prompt box that can help you find properties to buy. For instance, you can write, find me properties with a garden in London with a price below 4 or 5K. Then you click source with AI. So we will always fetch the 10 best match properties, okay? So it doesn't mean that there are only 10 in our database, but this is the 10 best match for this prompt. So you can refine the prompt. You can go into a specific postcode, or you want to provide, like, to get more information, or to ask, for property that requires refurbishment, whatever you want. And here you can see the results. So this is a very new feature. Try this out. It's a beta, I would say it's a beta feature. So any feedback from you would be great. You can use this chat box to provide us with feedback. The next feature, also AI related, is the AI refurb estimation. So let's say that you enter this listing. You can see the photos, description, features. You can see the map. Of course, we have the comparables on the map. This is a feature that we already introduced last year. You can also see the quick analysis, and also the agent details. This is actually another thing that we've added. You can send an email to the agent to get more information about this property. But the feature I wanted to show you today is the AI refurb estimation. So it's a quick questionnaire. It basically gets the data from this specific listing, and it will ask you some questions to refine tune the estimates that it will provide you. For instance, what are you intending to do? The plan is to do a flip or to keep it as a rental property. So it will ask you to pick a number between 1 or 2, or just in this question, I can just separate them with commas, and then I can get the next question. So after you answer all the questions, you will get a summary with an estimate for the refurb cost for this property. You will see the assumptions of Lendlord AI, and then the breakdown of the costs. And the total. Usually we'll ask you if you want also a timeline for this schedule of works. And you can get also a timeline. And of course, you can keep asking follow-up questions. You can click on this icon to add web data, and then perhaps ask for more comparables, whatever you want. So this is a new feature. Hopefully shortly we'll also provide a report that it can be generated from Lendlord AI that you can share with others. So as you can see, we invest in Lendlord AI. We continue to enhance it, and also we would love to get your feedback and also suggestions on new features, or also new features that can be used with AI. All right. Perhaps another quick thing that we did on the deal analyzer. So first we introduced a new report. So it's a well-designed report as always before, but it can also take into account, let's say that I started to view this listing. I want to analyze this listing as a BRR strategy. First, I can see the target metrics. This is another new feature. So you can define your own target metrics, and you can see on each analysis if it meets your criteria or not. You can always edit your metrics here. And then, because I took it from the listing, on the property info, you will also find the photos and also the description of the property, the key features. When you generate the report, which is part of our premium plan, and I want to remind you that you can get it with a 50% off during this webinar time. Sorry if you can put this the coupon code on the chat. Then you can get this report with all the details, and of course you can share it with others. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this is on the invest section. Let's go to the manage section. So here we, okay, I think this is a great new feature on the tenant section. So for landlords who manage their tenants on the Landlord platform, so as you may know, you can invite your tenants to their own dashboard and they can report maintenance issues. So now you can also start conversations with your tenants. Yeah, I see I don't have an invitation from a tenant here, but it will be, I will try to open a test environment after that to show you. But basically, it's quite the same as maintenance report. You can just open a conversation with your tenant, and then the tenant, any message, you will also receive a notification. He can chat with you. And the good thing is the export button. So you can export any conversation or any maintenance issue conversation with your tenant. And this is important also now with the new reforms to keep auditing all the communications you had with your tenants. So you can also generate a report, which you can use whenever you need. So now it's not just maintenance issues. You can also just do regular messages, general messages to your tenants. You can announce things, you can ask questions, not just maintenance reports related. And again, here we continue to update and enhance the platform. So any feedback is welcome. All right.
There's a question, sorry, in the chat from Mike. So it says, can you show what it looks like to the tenant?
Yes, I can. I will, when you will answer one of the questions, I will try to open like a test account and hopefully I can show it. But yeah, it's a good question. The tenant, by the way, I can say in general, of course, he will not see your portfolio, anything from your account. The tenant will just see the things that you shared with him. So when you invite a tenant, you can decide which documents you want to share with this tenant. There are some documents that you have to share, so you can upload the welcome pack, the ST agreement, right to rent, gas safety certificate, and more. So basically, you decide what your tenants will see. You can also decide if you want them to accept that they read one of the documents. So then they will see that, and they will also see the payment schedule. So they will also be on track of their rent payments. They will get notifications to pay the rent on time. They will get notifications on overdue payments, but you will get it as well. So you can also send reminders. And of course, they will get access to the documents that you share with them, and they will have access to maintenance issues and conversations. So everything is managed in one app. So I think it's easy to use and it's better to use because you have everything in one place. But the second thing is in terms of being organized, and also I think it's attached to regulation of the new reform, that if you need to provide an audit of what happened with this tenant, you can do it because you use a software. In the last webinar, we spoke about making tasks digital. So this is also something that Landlord supports to report your tax return on a quarterly basis. Here also, we are going to introduce some enhancements that will have a dashboard from MTD. So you will get reminder when you need to perform the submission, and also data about your historical submissions and more. So the next feature I wanted to show you is on the accounting section on the report.
Aviram, before that, if someone asked to speak about the team members and
Yeah,
security.
I will.
Okay.
It's on my list. Yeah,
All
it's
right. Good.
yeah. So yeah, I will just finish this report enhancement, and then I will go to the roles and permissions. So in the report section, we've added a comparison. So if now I'm reviewing the P&L for the last financial year, I can now compare it with 1, 2, 3, or 4 years historical years, and you can see the comparison. If you select a month, you can compare it with previous months. If you select a custom period, you will be able to compare it with the same previous periods. So this is, and also, of course, you can generate a report with a comparison. So this is something new as well that can help you track the progress, compare the results from previous years. I think it's quite valuable and beneficial feature to have. Okay, now let's speak about roles and permissions. So this is something that we introduced, I think, 2 months ago-ish. So now, if you go to the top right menu and click team members, you can invite team members with different permissions. So for instance, if I want to add a team member to my Lendlord account, I can first decide if I'm adding him as an editor or a viewer. Then I can also select which pages / modules he can actually view or edit, okay? So in the property sourcing section, I want to give access to on-market properties, auctions, but I don't want him to touch property categories and sourcing alerts, but perhaps access my watch list as a viewer. Okay, so it's very, very customized. So in the property analysis, okay, the deal analyzer, postcode insights, manage, which I store all my data, so I think it's important. So perhaps the dashboard as a viewer, interactive report as a viewer, my portfolio as a viewer, perhaps task as an editor, if I have someone in my team that manage the tasks, documents, and etc., etc. Also the tenant section. So each section is basically now is customizable. So you can either just tick the checkbox for the entire section or select specific pages. And then I already used this email. And then this specific person will receive an email with invitation to Lendlord, and he will be able to access your Lendlord account, but with those specific permissions only. And then you can see also the status here. Okay, so I think I quite covered the main new features. Some of those features are premium features. So again, we are highlighting the 50% off during this webinar time for our premium plan. So just go to the settings page or click on the link that Arcel put on the chat, click upgrade, then enter the coupon Feb webinar and click apply coupon. And you will get the premium plan with 49.5 for the entire year, or the premium plus for 149.5 for the entire year. And you can get so many features, but also you also have some benefits for the finance. So if you apply for a mortgage, you get for your first application or premium 150 pounds discount. For the second, for premium plus for 2 applications, and 150 pound arrangement fee discount on bridging. Yeah, so I tried to prepare the demo
Aviram,
the tenants, but yeah, sorry, let's if we have questions, let's
yes. If you can speak about our new tenancy agreements templates that yeah.
Yes, definitely. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so the tenancy generator is like basically we launched, I think, a very long time ago, but now because of the changes of the Renters' Right Act, we have a new template, the periodic tenancy agreement, which is based on the new reform, the Renters' Right Act. So I'm on the free one. 1 second. Let's try from a different account. So there are some sections that you need to include. Also, it's a rolling tenancy. And also need to put the agreement date. All the information is being taken from this specific tenant. You can actually define prospect tenants and generate the agreement for them before they become like active tenants. The deposit, what is the notice field for the landlord and the tenant. Then it will generate the agreement for you. If you want to change some of the paragraphs, the sections, wording, or you want to add sections, just click on Manage Sections. And here you can edit the texts. You can also save the sections for the next time. And you can also add sections. So you can actually custom your tenancy agreement. When you add section, you can save it for the next time as well. So once you're happy, you can either download it and save it, or you can even send it for signature. This is part of our premium plan. So you can send it to your tenant to sign electronically. With Landlord Premium Plan, you can actually send any document for signature. It's like a DocuSign license in your Landlord account. So if you do send documents, you should definitely consider use Landlord. On the documents section, you can manage all your documents on a property level. So I think it's valuable. Then click send, confirm the email addresses, and your tenants will receive an email to sign. You will also receive the same email to sign from your side. So this is something that you now can do with Landlord. And also we have the HMO tenancy agreement, which is a different template. And again, if you have suggestions for new templates, we have some roadmap for that, but feel free to advise. And you will see the documents that were sent for signature in the signed documents section on your My Documents page, along with all of your documents. Yeah, okay. So let's see if we have some questions. If we have a question for Simi as well, feel free to ask about digital mortgages, but also about the market mortgages, or whatever you have to ask.
Yeah, so I'll take the first question from Elena. Can you provide a decision in principle to present to agents for viewings? We can put something in writing, yes. What we normally do for our clients is they use the mortgage illustration and we pop something in writing to confirm their proceedability. Estate agents are normally fine with that, and we're happy for clients to pass on our details for us to confirm that they're proceeding to agents as well. Another question we've got come through is, what is the minimum one must have to start with BREE for someone who is new, looking to do something small and simple? So for bridging, we do have a minimum loan size of 30,000. So that's what you'll need to obtain a bridging loan from Landlord. For mortgages, it's slightly different. You do need to have a higher minimum loan.
In the meantime, Sarel, if you have a tenant user I couldn't find in QA, just send me a link because you can find. Yeah. Simi, do you have any question for you? Any other questions?
Yeah, I'm just going through them. So the question from Angela, if you don't have a deposit or savings, unfortunately for the buy-to-let side, you would need to present 25% cash. of the purchase price. So we wouldn't be able to offer like 100% mortgage or anything like that. Same for bridging, you still need to have a deposit source, usually cash or savings. There's a question from Becky. If I have a property off market that I want to analyze, can I do that in the deal analysis?
Again, sorry, what is the question?
It's if I have a property off market that I want to analyze, can I do that?
Yes, definitely. So let me share the screen again. So basically, the deal analyzer is available to analyze any address. And one second. And now, if it's off market, means that you will not get the data. So we have the Lendlord Com extension. So if you review a listing on Rightmove, Zoopla on the market, you can use the Lendlord Com extension. Let me try to see it. And then you can get like on market listings instantly into Lendlord. So just download the Chrome extension, then select the strategy you want to analyze. It takes a few seconds because what Lendlord platform is doing right now is, yeah, I need to choose. Okay, it's a premium feature, but basically we will extract the information from this listing and we'll take you to the deal analyzer with all the results. But you can actually put any address you want and start an analysis. Select it's a buy to let, flip, or BRR. Let's just do buy to let. We have the new online valuations available here. We can get estimation about property value and monthly rental income based on those parameters. So you can use them on your analysis or you can use your own numbers. Okay, I can use those. Then instantly we'll receive the initial metrics, but starting this point, you can tweak the information and see how it impacts your results. You can also apply the what if scenarios for the long term. You can see or metrics on the deal specific scenario, which we take the annual value appreciation from the postcode, or you can apply the best case scenario or the worst case scenario. So yeah, so basically the question, you can analyze any deal. I hope that I answered it.
There are a couple of mortgage questions. So, can I use investor funds as the 25% deposit, or does this limit the number of available lenders? Most lenders do want your deposit to be from cash or savings. If you use the investor funds, let's say, for example, to obtain a bridging loan, and then you're looking to do the refinance, a lot of lenders will look at the origin of funds. Some can be a little bit funny about it. There are quite a few specialist lenders who are fine with it. As long as the investor doesn't have a legal interest in the property when you refinance. So the best way to probably go around that is to go for bridging first and then do the refinance, just because it is tricky for a new purchase application where it's investor funds. Lenders kind of view that as debt on debt, so it's difficult for a lender to have the risk appetite for that. Another question is day one remortgages, how do they work and is this correct? So a day one remortgage is when you refinance with less than 6 months ownership, essentially on day one of completing on a property. So a lot of people will go for a day one refinance if, for example, they bought a property below market value, it wasn't mortgageable, or they wanted to do a refurb and increase the value, and then refinance it based on the higher open market value. So a lot of lenders will require you to have completed works to be able to consider a day one refinance. And what they're going to be looking for is essentially to justify the uplift in value. So they're going to look at things like a schedule of works, invoices, receipts, before and after photos. I always recommend, because you can show to a valuer what was done prior and now what kind of condition it's in. We do also have a lender who can consider a day one remortgage with no works being completed. they offer free valuation for single lets, free conveyancing. So a lot of lenders are definitely kind of jumping on day one remortgages, because it's the way a lot of landlords are sourcing properties now below market value at auction as well. So that's a really common transaction for us. So definitely one we've got a lot of options for. What else for mortgages? Is it possible to use Lendlord to get residential mortgage offers to raise capital? Yeah, absolutely. We can advise on residential mortgages. Again, a lot of our landlords do this to pull out equity in their own home and then expand their portfolio. So yes, we can advise on residential mortgages. I will say though, on the online inquiry, the digital mortgage application, you can't select residential products. So I'd advise to book in a call directly with myself or Leon, and we could go through the residential lenders, but you won't see them online because it's purely investment lenders.
Yeah, I think there is a comment from Mike about the tenancy agreement. It's a good comment that you need to get legal advice if you change the wording. So our templates, we run them through, of course, about with solicitors. But if you change the wording, yeah, it's better to get the legal advice, unless you already have your own template that was verified and you want to add the paragraph sections that you already used in the past.
There is a question. Can you find out the sale price for a property which is not on the market, just adding the postcode?
Yeah, basically, yes, because the way you value properties on Landlord, let me share the screen again, is based on parameters. So it's not that we take the address and just provide you with evaluation. We will ask you several questions about the property. So we need the property type. Of course, that if we get an address, we can get all of this information automatically. But if not, you can just put the postcode, the property type, the construction date, internal area. This is, of course, with the API that we have for property data, number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, what is the interior finish quality right now. It's unmodernized or average or very high. Is there outdoor space and off-street parking spaces, if there are or not. And then based on that, you will get the estimation. So basically, yes, you can get valuation for off-market properties. Soon, we will also have enhancement to this valuation with AI. So we will send AI agents to get more information about this specific area, recent use, recent sales, comparables. So you will get more information about this postcode and about this property with AI.
That's a really good question in the chat from Nigel, which is, can you offer bridge to guaranteed mortgage at the end of a refurb, for example? So a lot of lenders will call this like a bridge to let product. So there are lenders who do offer those, but my view on this is that it's difficult to know essentially. So let's say, for example, you get a property and you've got the guaranteed mortgage. When you finished all the works and you've, let's say, secured a rate, for example, 4%, it's difficult to know when you secure that at the beginning of the process if that's going to be the best product available to you once you've done the work. Sometimes I think that can eliminate the wider market. Although it offers you a guarantee, you still normally have to go for a re-inspection or a new evaluation. But also, you're just kind of cutting yourself off from the wider market. And I think there's so many specialist lenders available now offering day one remortgages or, remortgages to repay bridging loans, that you don't really want to kind of restrict yourself on the product that you're eligible for. So I always think it's best to kind of separate the two transactions. I see the point of doing them because it's guaranteed, but I think if it's a standard construction property, no real quirks, it's definitely worth waiting to see what you can get with the wider market.
Okay. We have a question from Sarah. Hi, Simi. How long is the typical timeline to get a remortgage of an
Yes.
property? Yeah.
We know Sarah. Sarah's an existing client, so thank you very much for joining, Sarah. So it is a faster process. Again, for a limited company, it's normally 3 to 4 weeks for the offer But it is faster because for the conveyancing process, because you don't have to do things like request redemption statements. And for the underwriting, lenders don't normally require documents to see the bridging loan agreements or how you source the property. So it is a faster process, but it's still, having to go through an underwriting process of the valuation and everything. So for limited companies, it just takes a little bit longer because of an extra layer of underwriting for that. A couple of questions about the day one remortgage. So a day one remortgage is when you obtain a mortgage immediately after completing on a property. So literally, let's say you complete on it through bridging finance, the next day you can apply for the remortgage. So that's it's what it kind of says on the tin, refinancing on day one of purchasing it. A question from Tony. Are there more lenders who offer day one refinance on a property you recently purchased? Yes, there are so many lenders who will offer a day one remortgage, but the lender's criteria will differ based on what property value they will lend against. So some lenders will lend against the purchase price, some will lend against the open market value if you can show works. Some just don't care at all. They will lend off the open market value on day one. So lots of lenders will do it differently. How much can I take from my residential property? We would have to book in a call to go through affordability. So that one's a little bit more detailed to answer right now. And can you advise on the refinance timelines for properties held in your own name? So if it's a personal remortgage, some lenders are fantastic. We've just done a remortgage for a client and we got the offer within 48 hours and it was personal name. So it really depends on the lender. But yeah, you can get it very quickly, especially on the high street lenders. They will do desktop valuations if they can. So that speeds up the process massively. So yeah, I would actually say a few days to a week or so for personal remortgages. It's a much faster process. Sarah, is there a limit on the amount of property you can purchase with one lender, or would it be best to choose another lender? And do we get some incentive from the lender, such as discounted lenders fees? I wish we could get discounted lender fees because they are very expensive. Unfortunately, we can't because they're set by the lenders and it's set by their funders. So the product fees that you'll see are fixed to the lender. However, if you are purchasing multiple properties and you want to put it with the same lender, some lenders will just have exposure limits or a portfolio limit of what they'll allow you to have with them. So some lenders it will be millions, so it's quite a large limit. Something you actually mentioned on the amount of properties you can purchase. A lender we work with offer a multi-property product where you can add 30 properties on one loan. And I think that's a really attractive product for landlords when you are maybe purchasing a portfolio. You want to streamline the process as well. But you can submit to the same lender, you can submit to a new lender. But what I would say is if it's a limited company and you are a portfolio landlord, there is going to be a lot more underwriting. So things like business plans, direct debit mandates, portfolio schedules, it makes sense to keep it with one lender as opposed to several because it just reduces the amount of documents that you need to provide and sign as well. A question from Azad. Are there many lenders for staging serviced accommodation as much as 10,000? If so, are the rates much different to personal loans? So for serviced accommodation, yeah, lenders are fine with it. Not all lenders will offer these types of products. They are more niche, so more short let or holiday let products. So not all lenders will. You will be paying a bit more of a premium for these types of products as well. But it is something we can help with. The rates also are typically higher than a product in your personal name just because it's a more of a niche product. But a lot of lenders are introducing holiday lets because I think a lot of landlords are looking, how can they maximize the rent? So it's definitely something that a lot of more lenders are opening up to. Are there lenders that allow the property to be used as a buy-to-let and or serviced accommodation limited company? Yes, there. So if you're looking for a bit of a hybrid, only a very small handful of lenders will allow that. You normally would either get a short let product or a standard single let or long let product. It's not all lenders will offer a hybrid, so that is quite niche. And a question from Jane. Do you deal with mixed use property, shops and flat upper? Yes, we can do mixed use properties. What a lot of lenders are looking for is to make sure that it's an even split. So like 50-50 commercial, residential, or 60-40. It really depends. It really depends on the lenders, but there are options available. Again, they're more premium, they're a bit more expensive.
Timmy, I also wanted to highlight the bridging route. So if you need bridging usually will be if you are purchasing a property in auction, you need to complete a certain time. It can be any time between 4 weeks to 8 weeks, usually, typically. Then bridging can help. Also, if you need to perform some refurbishment to the property. So Landlord offer also bridging products. If you go to the finance section, go to bridging finance, then you need to answer a quick questionnaire. The good thing that if you are able to secure the property under market value, you're sure that the value is higher, landlord will also provide you a product that can fund based on the market value up to 90% of the purchase price. Also, if you perform refurbishment, landlord can also fund the refurb costs as a second advance. You just need to select yes if you require funding for the refurbishment, and then you will see the calculation of how much you can get for the refurbishment after you complete this process. You can just submit this inquiry. Nothing happens, don't worry, in the background. You can just click proceed, so the team will be able to review your application. We'll ask you to provide some more information, and then you can also review your indicative terms. If it's an auction, we want to see the auction date, and you can confirm the inquiry details, click proceed, and you will see the terms for the first advance. We have a dynamic product which you pay a lower interest rate if you repay early. And you can see also the second advance available based on the GDV number you provided. Then you can continue to upload documents, receive heads of terms, and we also offer a dual presentation on legal on bridging. So it's quite fast. Basically, it speed up the process. And yeah, so also you have bridging options with Landlord. Sarel put the link tree. On the link tree of Landlord, you will find the links to schedule calls with both the mortgage team and the bridging team, and also links to apply online. So feel free to schedule calls if you want to speak with Simi or Leon, also another team members that we have, or with someone from the bridging team. If we have time, like I now have the login for the tenant dashboard. So just need to find it. Yeah, okay. So we had a question how the tenant, basically what the tenant see. So tenants. So you can see that the dashboard will provide him with the next rental payments. In this case, it's actually an overdue. Okay, someone just upload the version, that's fine. Okay, so it's an overdue payment. Because of that, it's red. I can see the last payment and the next payment. Yeah, actually, it's the outstanding sum. So it's a test environment, so we did not update the rent payments because of that. You can see the documents that the landlord shared with him. Also, the conversation I had with my landlord, the past conversations, and also maintenance issues that I reported. And also I have notifications to pay rent. I can see the payment schedule. It's important to say that the landlord needs to update the rent payment for the tenant from the landlord account, so the tenant will see that he paid on time. If you link your bank account and apply a rule, it will be automatically tracked. And also the communications, you can see all the conversations and the maintenance reports. Yeah, do we have any more questions?
think there's one from Sarah, but Sarah, I will give you a call to discuss because I know you're an existing client and we can talk through everything. So there's a question from Sarah, but we'll deal with that offline.
No worries. Okay. Yes, we will share the recording. I see a question from Vanchi on our YouTube channel. It's highly recommended to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So search on YouTube, search Landlord, because we upload the content regularly. You can see all the also historical webinars that we did. Feel free to use the new features with AI. And last thing before you go, check out the discount code. We will keep it open for the next few hours. It's an opportunity to upgrade to the premium plan with 50% off. Sorry, if you can put again the links. Go to the top right menu, click on settings, on the plan details, click upgrade, then enter Feb webinar for February, click apply coupon, and you will get both premium plans with 50% off. So yeah, I think it's very beneficial, lots of value, and also discounts if you use our finance products. Yeah, so thank you very much, Simi. And I want to apologize again for the absence of Simon. He had like an urgent issue. He just messaged us right before the webinar. So really apologize for that. But I hope that we provided value with me and Simi. So thank you everyone for joining. And we will see you in the next webinar. Thank you very much, Simi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. Bye.
Bye-bye.